What's up, y'all? Robbie TV, Shape Back here. We back live with it, baby. We back live with it. Got a couple topics to talk about, man. So we got the fight over Greenland. We're gonna be looking up what's going on with Greenland, man. I'm saying Trump and everybody in uproar saying you know what I mean, he need to take over Greenland. I don't know what the hell they got going on in Greenland. I don't know if it's like Antarctica, where it's you know, 'cause I think Antarctica is like the bottom of the Earth, or the bottom of the, you know what I mean. I don't think you can go no more further than Antarctica, and I think Greenland is like the top. You know what I mean, where it's like you can't go no more north than Greenland. You feel what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken. So I'm guessing that's like the bottom of the world and the top of the world. You know what I mean? They trying to get both of them under siege, you know what I mean, under control. So that way, I guess, you know, they can do whatever they want. So we're going to see why. I'm pretty sure I know why Trump want Greenland, but we're going to look into that and see what's going on. And then we got Jim Jones, man. Jim Jones, 50 Cent, Cameron. They back at it again, man. Motherfuckers are saying Jim Jones ain't got no heat in that motherfucker. They saying he cold, you need a motherfucking space heater. Yeah, big. Saying it's rent due. Motherfuckers is on Jim Jones' ass, man. That shit crazy. Motherfuckers on his ass, man. So we gonna look into that, see what's going on with that. And you know what I mean? That'll be it. It's smelling real good. Yeah, they look smelling real good. So yeah, we just looking to see what's going on with this Greenland situation, man. I wonder why they want Greenland so bad. Let's look it up. You know what I mean? Trump saying he's gonna take it whether they like it or not. You know what I mean? I wonder what's going on, why they want Greenland so bad. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, man. Like, subscribe, Robbie TV. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all like, subscribe. We speaking on the situation with Trump, why he want Greenland so bad. Let's look and see what's going on. I wonder what they got going on in Greenland, man. What's up in Greenland? Why they want Greenland so much? Let's check it out, see what they want.
Policy question. How much money are you thinking of giving people in Greenland to get them on board with a possible U.S.
I'm not talking about money for Greenland yet. I might talk about that. But right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. I would like to make a deal, you know, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way. And by the way, I'm a fan of Denmark too, I have to tell you, and you know, they've been very nice to me. I'm a big fan, but you know, the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land. I'm sure we had lots of boats go there also. But we need that, because if you take a look outside of Greenland right now, there are Russian destroyers, there are Chinese destroyers and bigger. There are Russian submarines all over the place. But we're not going to have Russia or China occupy Greenland, and that's what they're going to do if we don't. So we're going to be doing something with Greenland, either the nice way or the more difficult way. Please, go ahead, ma'am.
On Greenland, Mr. President, why is it so important to you to own it when you have a military presence there, which you could expand to affect security?
Because when we own it, we defend it. You don't defend leases the same way. You have to own it. And, you know, with a nation, look at what happened with Obama, with that horrible deal they made with Iran. It was a short-term deal. It was like a 9-year deal. Countries can't make 9-year deals or even 100-year deals. Countries have to have ownership. And you defend ownership, you don't defend leases. And we'll have to defend Greenland. If we don't do it, China or Russia will. It's not going to happen. We are not going to have, and I like China, I like Russia, I love the people of China, I love the people of Russia. I get along very well with President Putin, but I'm very disappointed in him. I get along very well with President Xi. I'm going to go over to China in April, but I don't want them as a neighbor in Greenland. Not going to happen. And by the way, and NATO's got to understand that. I'm all for NATO. I saved NATO. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have a NATO right now. But we're not going to allow Russia or China to.
What they give it to Trump, yo? Trump talking shit, yo.
If we don't.
So for what he's saying is, from what I'm getting of it is, NATO is owned by Denmark, which is, you know what I mean? I thought Greenland was like right above Canada, right? But I don't know. We're gonna look at the geographics and all that too. But Greenland is owned by Denmark, you know what I mean? Which is the European, you feel what I'm saying? So Trump saying basically what I get out of it is if we don't take over Greenland, then China or Russia is going to take over it. I don't really know, you know what I mean? I don't if Denmark is already owned, I don't know how China can take over of it or Russia unless they do it the same way how we want to do it by just taking it. You know what I mean? So I don't really, you know what I mean? Trump he kind of he muddying the waters with that one. I don't really know about that. But on the same tip, you know, I mean, I will say I agree. Shit, you know what I mean? If China or Russia looking to take it, we might as well get it first. And I think we the closest to Greenland, but then Russia and China. So, you know what I mean? He said, hello, I'm new here. What we do? What's up, man? What's up, man? Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel. Robbie TV. We speaking on this Greenland situation right now. We might be going to war, man, over Greenland. Cause you feel what I'm saying? Trump saying he trying to take over the country. And you know what I mean? People looking like, man, hey, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't want American soldiers on Greenland. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see what he say. But I do agree. I don't really want China or Russia having it. You know what I mean? If we could take it, why not take it? What's up, man? Make sure y'all like, subscribe, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel. We speaking on this Greenland situation. How y'all feel about Trump saying he can take one over to Greenland, man? How y'all feel about it? Put it in the comment section. Let me know. Shout out to 050, man. Put it in the comment section. You know what I mean?
Economic report that came out today, Mr. President. One, can you respond to that? And two,
it was an amazing report. The most amazing thing is government jobs are way down, and yet the employment numbers are very good. We've gotten rid of tremendous numbers of government jobs. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And yet the employment numbers are very good. They're really getting better. But now we have all those people to work in the private sector for a lot more money. I think that's one of the very big things. The other thing is at 5.4%. And remember, this is after we had a shutdown. And that shutdown had an impact because the concept of the shutdown, even though it's before, people knew we were going to be shutting down. A lot of bad things happened. And by the way, on January 30th, you may have another shutdown. We'll see what happens.
Damn.
But I think the numbers, Caitlin, were really amazing. Look, to think about 5.4%, nobody thought that. They thought it was going to be 2%. And you know what it is? It's tariffs. And it's also November 5th. We had a great election, a great election. Our country was dead 1.5 years ago. And now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And I hope you guys were impressed. 5.4%. And we haven't even really transitioned yet. There's no reason it can't be much, much higher than that. Yeah.
That shit crazy. So let's see why America won Greenland. Why America? Let's see.
How wealthy is Greenland, and why was the US desperate to own it? Look at this map. Greenland may look small, but that's just the projection. In reality, it's the largest island on Earth. And here's something many people don't know. Greenland is owned by Denmark, but it has self-rule, meaning it controls its own local government. Now, why does this icy land matter? Because deep under all that ice are massive natural treasures. Greenland holds some of the world's largest deposits of rare earth minerals, materials needed to make smartphones, electric cars, satellites. There are also huge gold reserves, and this is where the US steps in. In 2019, President Donald Trump openly offered to buy Greenland, not as a joke, but as a strategic move. Control Greenland, and you control resources, plus a powerful Arctic military position. So, beneath the ice, Greenland might be one of the wealthiest future lands on the planet. How wealthy is Greenland, and why?
I know it's because of resources. Dude.
Donald Trump keeps repeating one line. The US needs Greenland. But how could Washington actually take control of Greenland, a self-governing territory of Denmark? There are three paths, all with serious consequences. First, the status quo. Denmark already allows US military access under a 1951 defense agreement. The US once had 15,000 troops across Greenland. Today, it has fewer than 200, mainly at Pituffik Space Base. Second, Greenlandic independence. Many Greenlanders support independence, but 85% oppose joining the US. Only 6% support it. Some in Washington see independence as an opening, using a compact of free association, like those with Pacific Island states. That would give the US exclusive military access, block China, and cost billions in subsidies. Denmark fears the US is already pushing this quietly. Third, annexation. Trump has not ruled out force. A takeover would be easy. Denmark has minimal forces there, but the fallout would be massive. One NATO member seizing territory from another wouldn't weaken NATO. Donald Trump keeps repeating one line. The US
I figured
needs
that.
Greenland. But how could Washington...
Yeah, I figured that, bro.
actually
You said Maine is only 150 miles away. I figured Greenland was real close to the United States. I thought it was like right besides Canada, right? And it like right next to Canada. So I figured that United States definitely would want to control that, you know what I mean? Because that's, you know, it's right there. Like they say, I know they said it's the largest island on Earth. That's crazy. I didn't even know that. And I know they got natural resources like crazy. So, and it's a good positioning for if we want to strike China or Russia, you know what I mean, as far as an attack, because we got, you know what I mean, we got good positioning. Positioning is everything. That way you can get the first scoop. You know what I mean? Your missiles it might take, you know what I mean, an hour for them missiles to shoot from all the way from the USA to over there. But if you're in Greenland, it might only take 20 minutes. You know what I mean? 10 minutes for a missile to shoot. So, I mean, positioning is everything. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, man. Like, subscribe. How y'all feel about this Trump situation, man, with Greenland? You know what I mean? Let's see.
We need Greenland.
Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, man. Like,
it's the
subscribe.
largest island in the world. Average temperature in the north is -20. Situated high up in the North Atlantic, populated by just 57,000. Well, it's all how you look at it. Look down from the Arctic Circle and Greenland's importance changes. It's a critical staging ground situated between Canada, Europe, and Russia. From shipping traffic to early warning systems and flight paths, Greenland is key. According to senior White House aide Stephen Miller, right for the taking.
Greenland should be part of the United States. The president has been very clear about that.
It's somewhat horrifying that we have two of the founding NATO members engaged in such a dispute when Denmark was...
To say Wendy Gilmore, a former assistant secretary at NATO, is concerned is an understatement.
We have one of, in fact, the principal member of NATO issuing threats to the sovereignty of another NATO nation.
The two members are the United States and Denmark. The island of Greenland is a semi-autonomous territory of Denmark. The mainly Inuit population governs itself, while Denmark takes care of foreign policy and defense. After the Second World War, the United States signed an agreement to cooperate in the defense of Greenland with Denmark. This is what puzzles Gilmore. If Trump really wants Greenland, as he says,
From a national security situation.
all he has to do is ask.
Under the 1951 agreement, updated in 2004, the US would simply have to go to the government in Greenland, the government of Denmark, and say, we want to increase our footprint, we want access to the following ports, bases. There would be almost inconceivable for the government of Denmark and Greenland to say no if the request is something which is reasonable.
Well, decades ago, there were over a dozen American bases. There is currently only one, the Bidufik Space Base, a listening and watching post with about 150 U.S. service members.
To have surveillance, both, as NATO now talks about, from seabed to space, was always really important.
While the Danish Navy has a limited presence, Gilmore says there's little way to stop any kind of American incursion, for good reason.
We have not established, nor has Denmark, nor has NATO, established its military force posture to counter a threat from a founding NATO member. The US is intrinsically, we talk about being part of the DNA of NATO.
And while the Prime Minister of Denmark says any American aggression would end NATO entirely, in Greenland's capital, Tilly Martinsen, a former member of parliament, is seething.
I think anger is the predominant feeling. We do not take kindly to threats, and we don't like people who lie. And we think that Trump should come out openly and say that he wants the minerals, he wants the oil, he wants the rare earth minerals, he wants control of the Northeast Passage.
So you think he wants what's under the land, what's under the snow?
Of course.
We're already seeing a lot of American investors trying to buy up whatever mineral companies, successful or unsuccessful.
Atlantic staff writer Shane Harris believes it's not what's under the
What you
land,
say, bro?
but the land itself.
He said, bro, search up, what did it say? Kerala? What is that, bro? What that is? Kerala. What that is? That's another island or something, bro. Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, man. Like, subscribe. Robbie TV. We speaking on this Trump Greenland situation, man. I never knew really nothing about Greenland. You know what I mean? Like, the shit was like the North Pole for real. Like, but yeah, Trump definitely want the minerals. We know he want the minerals. We want the you know what I mean? The resources that come with it. So we can already see that. But it's crazy though, because that shit owned by a whole nother country for real. You know what I mean? So it's like, and a country that's connected to us. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, it's really crazy like how he's saying that, but it's just like we all in cahoots together with NATO. You feel what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to see how this work out. And you know, they want China and Russia want Greenland too, especially probably Russia, because Russia right there. So you know what I mean? We're gonna see how this work out, man. You know what I mean? I never knew nothing about Greenland like that, but shit, now we seeing it. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section, man. What y'all think about this Trump Greenland situation? Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel too, man. Like, subscribe. We on our way to 400 subscribers. We're gonna touch on the situation too with it happening in Minneapolis.
This is about territory. This is about his idea of expanding the size of the United States. I mean, he is a real estate guy.
While the world waits to see what Trump does next, Gilmore says Canada should be worried.
And one of the things that keeps me awake at night is wondering how much of the bellicosity toward Greenland is trying to send a message to, frankly, Canada or others, that the US is just going to go ahead and do what it wants without the niceties of engaging, consulting, or cooperating with other nations whose territory they might wish to use.
Damn. Yeah, I can see that. Like, America, we on some bully shit for real. But all countries like that, though. If you look at it, Russia want Ukraine. You feel what I'm saying? Fucking China want Taiwan. You know what I mean? So you look at all these, man, the major, and they the three major nations in the world: China, Russia, and America. We the three biggest. They the three biggest nations, three biggest countries, three biggest nations, three biggest economies. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, shit. People want shit. Motherfuckers want what they. You know what I mean? Like China want Taiwan. Yeah, big. We want Greenland, and Russia what Ukraine. You feel what I'm saying? So if you look at it like, bro, everybody really doing the same thing. So people looking at Trump like he's trying to do it bad, but China and Russia doing the same thing. Anything that's close to their, country, they trying to claim that. And I think China want Hong Kong. Cause I ain't even know Hong Kong wasn't a part of China. You know what I mean? And I think China wants Singapore. Shit, China want everything. They want everything for real. You know what I mean? But I know for a fact China want Taiwan. They want Taiwan for it. And they know that Taiwan is protected by us. So they know that's gonna definitely start a war. You know what I mean? But let's look into this situation that happened with this happened in Minneapolis, man. But I know it's an update now. But people was protesting. There's all types of shit going on. Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, man. We speaking on this protest now that's happening in Minneapolis over this girl that got shot by ICE agents. Which I will say, ICE was wrong, man. ICE, they shouldn't have shot her ass. You know what I mean? But she, you know what I mean, like, she shouldn't have been in that situation either. Like, you can't be just charging your cars at ICE agents and shit. You know what I mean? Expecting them not to, you know what I mean? Because they still law enforcement. Even though we don't agree with what they doing, they still law enforcement. They still got the right to shoot. You know what I mean? And it's fucked up that they do, but that's just the way we living in. You know what I mean? So, but it's going crazy up here in motherfucking in Minneapolis. They going crazy. They run it down on motherfuckers though. See, I don't like this though. They running down on shit.
You're a fucking Nazi. You work for the fucking the fuck out of our city. I'm not gonna get out of your city, number one. Yes, get the fuck out. Yes, you clearly. Oh, what does that say? Border Patrol. Yeah, you're a fucking Nazi. You work for the fucking orange fascists in chief. Yeah. Get the fuck out of our city, you Nazi piece of shit. Number one, I'm not gonna get out of your city because I live there. Oh, you want to make fucking. Okay, good for you. Good for you. You want to make fucking lampshades out of people?
That shit crazy.
It's now been 4 days since 37-year-old Good was shot and killed by that.
Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. We on our way to 400 subscribers, man. We speaking on this ICE situation that happened in Minneapolis with that lady getting shot, man. What y'all think about that situation in Minneapolis, man? What y'all think about that? You know what I mean? Me, I think it was fucked up. I think the officer, he didn't have to shoot her. You know what I mean? If anything, he could have just shot her tires out or something. You know, but and on the other stance too, the lady, she was wrong for being right there. I don't know if she was blocking, she was blocking the driveway, or blocking the road or something. You know what I mean? We're gonna look at the video again, but man, that shit crazy. What y'all think about that situation, man, with the ICE agent? Y'all think it was wrong? I think it was justified. You know what I mean? Let me know, man. Let me know. Make sure y'all like, subscribe too, man. Like, subscribe to the channel. Like, subscribe.
Enforcement agents and protests continue to build in the city and across the country. Mayor Jacob Fry telling reporters this morning, calling for people to exercise their right to protest peacefully and repeating his demand that ICE agents leave the city. Renee Cooper joins us live in South Minneapolis, where there has been a massive protest happening, Renee.
Yeah, Mayor Jacob Fry and Police Chief Brian O'Hara still saying protests have been largely peaceful throughout the city, and that's really been the case here today. Again, we're on Chicago right now, Chicago Avenue, where we watched the march start here, the very start of it, come through here, and for well over an hour, people filed through here down the street there. And I want to show you this video from Chopper 5 from earlier today in Powderhorn Park. That's where people first gathered today, thousands of them, not too far from where Renee Good was shot and killed by that ICE agent on Wednesday. Protesters marched, covering city blocks and slowing traffic for hours to send a message to federal officials.
There's an enormous, gigantic outpouring of love for this community, for Minnesota, and a lot of concern and outrage about what's going on the federal invasion of our state and city.
Now, earlier in the day, that plea from Mayor Jacob Fry and Chief O'Hara for peaceful protests. This after the chief says officers arrested 29 people overnight after some protesters damaged a downtown hotel. The chief says MPD does not share specifics on law enforcement strategy, including for this weekend, but he did say MPD has currently canceled all off days for officers. And here's what he said when I asked how much of MPD's resources are being used right now to respond to situations arising from ICE operations.
So we have officers, obviously, that are conducting their normal duties and responding to 911 calls, but then they're also being held over, and they're being held on standby. Last night, as obviously we were dealing with over 200 officers at the scene to execute the unlawful assembly and dispersal order, we were also posting other police officers around downtown to ensure that we did not have additional destruction. So it is quite literally almost 100% of every sworn member of the department.
And we reached out to ICE today for comment on this story. We have not heard back today. Now, in statements this week, DHS has said ICE agents are facing an increase in assaults against them and, quote, we will not allow rioters to deter us in our mission to make America safe. Now, again, aside from that alleged...
Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. These ICE agents, they definitely, you know, it's I don't like them wearing ski masks and all that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I don't really want nobody. You say this was as stupid as the No Kings rally. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Be honest, I agree. It's definitely, you know. Now, don't get me wrong. People got their right to protest. Don't, you know what I mean? As long as it's peaceful. As long as you know what I mean? You gotta do the right, you know, because she was, you know, he did shoot her ass. You know, that was a lot he did for. It was fucked up. But on the second hand, too, she shouldn't have been right there blocking traffic. Let me see if we can still got the video. Like, she shouldn't have been right there blocking traffic. And, you know what I mean? Like, let them people do what they need to do. Like, if you ain't, you know, fucking, you know, you a U.S. citizen. So you ain't got nothing to worry about. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's fucked up that, you know, that people is really trying to, you know, combat these people on doing their job. But don't get me wrong, they is wearing ski masks. I don't like them wearing masks and shit like that. They need to take the mask off. If you're a police officer, that's your job. You should be, you know what I mean, you serving the public. So the public should be able to see your face. You feel what I'm saying? I don't like them wearing the masks and shit like that, because you roll up on a nigga with a mask on, unmarked. Nigga don't know who you is. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, I ain't really feeling the mask and all that, but you know, people definitely, you know, they got the right to protest. You know what I mean? But on the other hand, too, I will say you know, they do need to get these illegal immigrants that's out here making the, you know what I mean, making the country look bad and making it hard for American citizens. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? What you say, Stanley? Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, man. Like, subscribe. Robbie TV. We speaking on the situation with it's in Minneapolis, man. How y'all feel about it? How you feel about that, Stanley? How you feel about the situation with that lady getting, you know what I mean, getting shot? Yeah, see, we can go to it right here. So they got a whole nother angle.
Well, new video shared by Vice President J.D. Vance reveals a new angle of the shooting of 37-year-old Renee Good, the woman killed by an ICE officer on Wednesday. Now, a source says the new video comes from the ICE agent who fired the fatal shots. His name is Jonathan Ross. And we want to show you the video in its entirety, but a warning, you might find it disturbing.
Like she blocking traffic, don't it? But it look like she blocking traffic, don't it? Like, it feel like she blocking traffic.
Get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
See, it look like she blocking traffic. So it's like, I ain't even gonna lie, like she provoking them people, man. Like, you know, if you're gonna protest. You feel what I'm saying? They getting all in their face with the camera and all that now. You know, that's not peaceful. You feel what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna record, you record. You know what I mean? You give them they 5 feet, whatever distance, you know, whatever. Let them do what they need to do, and you know you can record and you know say what you want. We still got freedom of speech, freedom of press, and everything, freedom of assembly in America. Hopefully that ain't going nowhere. So you know what I mean, we can do that. But if you see like she impeding traffic, she blocking traffic. You know what I mean? She like, come on, that shit's overboard now. You know what I mean? Now the ICE agents is going overboard too. He yanking on her door and all that. Y'all about to see it. You know what I mean? But he let her know, look, man, you getting out. You impeding traffic, and you what they call it, shit where you fucking fuck while they making an arrest or while they doing an investigation or something. You fucking with them. I forgot what it's called, but she was antagonizing them for real. Like you know what I mean. She was being an agitator. That shit crazy.
Now, JD Vance shared this video on social media along with the message saying, quote, "Watch this as hard as it is. Many of you have been told this law enforcement officer was not hit by a car, was not being harassed, and murdered an innocent woman. The reality is that his life was endangered and he fired in self-defense." Let's bring in CBS News senior coordinating producer Anna Schechter. Anna, we now have seen 2 angles of this shooting, one from a bystander, the other from the perspective.
And you wanna know what's crazy? Be honest with you, like, see, I'm a realist. Some shit like this just happened in Baltimore, like what, a couple days ago, 2 days ago. You know what I mean? And this guy's getting charged. This guy, like they say, the officer tried to pull. We're going to look into that. The officer tried to pull him over, and he pulled off while the officer was still on the car or something. The officer shot him. While, you know what I mean? Good thing he ain't died. But you feel what I'm saying? Like, yo, if you, and this officer, like, he getting off. This ICE agent, I don't know what happened to him. We going to see. I don't know if he got suspended or not, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be justified. You feel what I'm saying? Because number one, they giving the ICE agents the green light too. So anything they do, they getting off 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean? Then number 2 is she did drive off and look like that. It looked like pretty sure she didn't try to hit him, but it looked like he was in the way, or he probably jumped in the way of her driving. So they're gonna say, you know, he was fearing for his life and everything like that, and what she shouldn't have drove off anyway, too. You feel what I'm saying? Because it been situations like this shit might have been staged or whatever, I don't know. But it been real situations like this in Baltimore. Like Baltimore, we ain't with all that staging, Antifa, all that goofy shit. It's real life situations happening in Baltimore, and there's some shit happening like this in Baltimore with the police, and the police shot him. You feel what I'm saying? So. You know, and the police could justify it. It was just a shooting like this happened a couple weeks ago, and the police officer, they just cleared him. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? They can get justified. They feel like you using your car as a deadly weapon, and their life is in danger. So.
Or who fired the gun?
What's up, bro? What's up, bro?
Tell us, and what stands out to you?
Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, man. Like, subscribe. Say what time. What's up, bro? Chilling, man. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel.
Well, it's really challenging to make a definitive determination and to get inside the mind of that ICE agent who fired the shot. The three angles that we saw yesterday, that emerged yesterday on social media and that officials were posting to X, et cetera, that we were watching, were a little bit more removed, and it looked from that angle to a lot of people like the driver was pulling away. However, officials like Kristi Noem, Donald Trump, and even eventually Tom Homan, who walked back initial comments where he was saying, whoa, let's let an investigation play out, they immediately jumped to the defense of the ICE agent. So that might cause a little bit of a challenge to the public to completely, who are critics of this administration, to believe what the findings of an FBI investigation that is underway. This new video is really important because it shows the perspective of the officer. It's interesting to note that he even chose to take out his phone and start recording. But it is not a complete, definitive whole picture. Even watching this, it does appear to show that he is impacted by the car. What's interesting, though, is we don't hear a clear gunshot, which is really loud. You hear it on the other, and it's probably just the way that, because of the impact of the vehicle, or I'm not sure why, actually, but you don't hear it on this video. But it certainly, now we have a little bit more perspective, and we also have identified the wife of the victim engaging there with the ICE agent, so that paints a little bit more of a picture. So I think we're still slowly putting the pieces together. From my perspective, we do investigative reporting here. We take our time, we look at all angles. It takes time to put things together and make a determination. And that's what ultimately a court would do, make a determination about whether the action that the ICE agent took was reasonable or not, Liz.
I want to talk a little bit about a court and also a potential trial. The investigation into this shooting is now solely being led by the FBI without the help of state and local experts. How might the FBI's takeover shape this investigation, and could that impact future legal proceedings in the possibility that this case does indeed go to trial?
It's such a great point, Liz. There are nuances here. So generally what would have happened is the FBI would take over as the lead since it's so high profile and it's a federal agent involved. But usually the state agency would support. And in this case, it's the Minneapolis Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. This is an office that has a history of conducting investigation.
So we're gonna see what's going on, what they do with this situation. You know what I mean? Say, bro, I've been following you for a long time. Oh, I appreciate that, bro. Make sure you like, give me some likes, man. Give me some likes. You know what I mean? I appreciate you though, bro. If I see you in here some more, I might give you a wrench. You know what I mean? I'm on my way to 500. I'm on my way to 500 subscribers, bro. You feel me? So we on our way. But yeah, man, I appreciate that, bro. What you think about this situation? You from America? Where you from, man? What state you from? You from America? You saying the situation that this ICE agents, they going crazy over here in America, man. They say I'm from Russia Republic. Oh shit, they from Russia, bro. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah, you just missed it. I just was talking about Greenland. Yeah, I was just talking about Greenland, how United States, we want Greenland. And Russia, y'all want Greenland. So shoot, we might be going to war with y'all, man. It's like, yeah, oh, you sound very bad at English. Okay. I appreciate the like, man. I appreciate the like, bro. So let's see what else we can do. Does the new video support self-defense? Let's see.
Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I'm...
Tonight, there's growing fallout in Minneapolis after the fatal shooting of Renee Good by an ICE agent. There were large organized protests today in the city calling for justice for Good and for ICE to leave Minnesota. There were also protests in cities nationwide in what organizers dubbed ICE Out for Good weekend of action. CBS's Usher Qureshi is in Minneapolis with more on that part of the story. Usher.
Good evening, Jerika. We're just feet from where Renee Nicole Good was shot earlier this week. Following mass demonstrations earlier in the day, many have made their way to the memorial here to pay their respects and to continue to protest.
What's her name? Say her name!
Thousands of people braved sub-zero temperatures to protest this week's fatal shooting of Renee Nicole Good and the Trump administration's surge of immigration agents to the Twin Cities.
As a person of color, I have to hold my passport just in case ICE comes to me.
Today, the latest
Here you go with that person of color shit. Here they go with that.
Security claims to
They
show
love that
Good was
shit.
allegedly impeding agents immediately before the confrontation on Portland Avenue. This cell phone video released Friday from Jonathan Ross, the federal immigration officer who opened fire. The new images are raising tensions and questions about Ross's tactics, who has served at the agency for over a decade. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara.
Anytime a police officer fires a gun at an unarmed motorist in a car that's moving, it's deeply concerning.
Hey, don't be in the same fight when you come talk to us.
Late Friday, Good's wife, who is also in the video, gave a statement to Minnesota Public Radio, saying in part, "We stopped to support our neighbors. We had whistles, they had guns." She was part of a community response to more than 2,000 ICE officers deployed to the Twin Cities in a Trump administration blitz against illegal immigration.
Damn.
Today, Minnesota's congressional representatives tried to visit the ICE offices in Minneapolis. They were asked to leave. Last night, bedlam at 2 downtown Minneapolis hotels. Protesters created a ruckus where ICE agents were thought to be staying. Police made 29 arrests. But Saturday, the city's mayor complimented citizens for the overall peaceful demonstrations.
Will not counter Donald Trump's chaos with their own brand of chaos here. We in Minneapolis are going to do this right.
And Jerika, Minnesota leaders are urging protesters to stay peaceful tonight.
And Usher, what's the latest with the investigation?
Well, the FBI is still shutting out state investigators despite local officials' demands that they participate. Sharika?
Usher Qureshi in Minneapolis, thank you.
Yeah, she was, I mean, like, it was just an ICE shooting in Maryland. Let me see. In Glen Burnie. Man shot by ICE in Glen Burnie. Let me see.
A spokesperson with ICE says their agents were doing a targeted immigration enforcement operation when they spotted 2 men who they say are illegal immigrants. ICE says their agents tried to go up to the vehicle, and that's when the driver tried to get away, started ramming his van into ICE vehicles, and tried to run ICE agents over before ICE agents started shooting.
I was sitting in the living room and I heard a few shots. Maybe about 4 or 5 shots.
Gunshots and crime scene tape lining West Court. Not the Christmas Eve neighbors expected.
That's happening on Christmas Eve.
So, a little devastated, especially it being the day before Christmas.
I can't even imagine who it would have something to do with, because this area of neighborhood is usually very peaceful.
Spokesperson with ICE says ICE agents were conducting a targeted immigration enforcement operation on West Court in Glen Burnie when they identified a driver of a van as Tiago Alexandra Sousa Martins, who they say is an illegal immigrant from Portugal. Leaders with ICE say the passenger in the van, Solomon Antonio Serrano Esquivel, is also an illegal immigrant from El Salvador. ICE agents went up to the van to talk to Sousa Martins, but they say he tried to get away, ramming his van into ICE vehicles and driving directly at ICE officers. That's when agents started shooting, hitting Sousa Martins, who then crashed his van between 2 buildings.
If you can try to run a guy over, yeah, I understand why the guy shot him. He shouldn't try nothing like that.
ICE says the passenger was hurt in the crash.
Yeah, Pop said shouldn't try nothing like that.
And both are in stable condition. James Hicks, who lives nearby, says he saw the situation unfold and the person shot in the aftermath.
I seen him laid out, So that's how I see him on the stretcher.
ICE says none of their officers were severely hurt during this situation. ICE, Anne Arundel County Police, and the FBI are all working together on this investigation. In Glen Burnie, I'm
Ice,
Deanna
man,
Ross,
this shit been a
WBAL.
lot of, man, I'm telling you. What it's looking like now, it's looking like it's about to be a lot of distrust with the government and even in law enforcement, even though, you know, it's been like that for black people. That's why you see black people, we out here, we ain't, you know what I mean? You better not be a black person at an ICE protest. Shit, because we already know what's going on. And don't get me wrong, they was at the George Floyd, but George Floyd was I mean, that shit felt like it was staged for real. I don't know. So, but man, I'm telling you, like, we been getting hell from the police. That's why we ain't even tripping on the tip, like, man, shit. We still catching hell. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, we ain't really worried about nobody else, because we could try and get ourselves together as far as black people in America. And it's like, now they got this people of color and what other shit I just saying they use, black and brown and all this. Like, they trying to mix all of us together. Like, no, we still black Americans. You know what I mean? African Americans. Like, we is us. You know what I mean? We only us, because ain't nobody else coming to fight for us. You know what I mean? Everybody want us to fight with them, but don't nobody want to fight for us. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't see nobody really fighting for black people like that, but black people. So, come on now. You know, there's been a lot of police before this ICE shit was even going on. Then there was a whole bunch of police shootings going on with kids, old ladies. You know what I mean? That shit happened where the protesters was at when the fucking when the police officers did that to that lady in where the police where that was at. And I think was that in Minneapolis when that guy, what was his name, Jacob something, when he got shot by the police. Like where was all these protesters at? I mean, that's why I was like, man, I ain't even worried. That's why, and these protesters feel like they staged. Like, where the fuck is all these protesters coming from, man? I don't understand how people doing this much protesting. I ain't seen this much protesting yet. Like, god damn. Like, these protesters saying like they staged, bruh. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Let me see. Like, it's really getting to the point where it's like, I don't really believe nothing that's going on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't really trust none of that shit that's going on. So, make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel, man. It's pretty much it for real. Oh, we got the Jim Jones situation. Jim Jones, 57. I'll probably say that for later on in the day. I wanted to talk about this ICE situation and all these motherfucking protesters and all this going on. But, you know, they probably scraped the internet out that. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, been a lot of protesters going on, man. Whole lot. Like, hold on, let me see. Make sure y'all
Antifa stands for the anti-fascist movement. It's a leaderless group of like-minded individuals and groups, primarily from the far left. Trump administration officials routinely blame the group for stoking violence towards conservatives.
The problem we have is on the left.
Antifa groups have existed for decades in the U.S., but more recently rose to prominence after the 2017 far-right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, during President Donald Trump's first term in office. Since then, Antifa groups have clashed, sometimes violently, with right-wing groups like the Proud Boys. But according to a 2021 report by the Program on Extremism at George Washington University, violence committed by Antifa groups, quote, pales in comparison to other extremists. Trump says he is designating Antifa as a major terrorist organization following the September 10th slaying of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, despite having no confirmed links between Kirk's accused killer and the group. Antifa refers to anti-fascist individuals who, quote, view themselves as part of a protest tradition that arcs back to opposition groups in Nazi Germany, according to the independent research arm of Congress, the Congressional Research Service. The Sierra says some Antifa tenets, quote, can echo the principles of anarchism, socialism, and communism, but generally followers also tend to support a broad range of other causes, from gay rights to climate activism.
I ain't gonna lie to you, they getting out of control.
Resist how you want to resist is what I would say.
Even for killing.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, that shit was crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I found out about them during the 2020 George Floyd protests. Like, man, these motherfuckers going out here, they and riots and shit. Like, motherfuckers supposed to have a peaceful protest. They going around breaking into stores and, you know what I mean, and engaging in fucking violence and encouraging people to do violence. So it's like, yeah, man, you know what I mean? I ain't really fucking with them. So I said, let y'all know. I think that's what a lot of these protesters is now. It's them. You feel what I'm saying? Allegedly. So, but yeah, man, that was pretty much it for real. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody that tapped in. I appreciate everybody that liked, subscribe. Make sure y'all check out my other content, my other videos. You know what I mean? I'm definitely going to be dropping some more videos, doing some more lives. My content, I'm definitely coming up. So I'm on my way to 400 subscribers, man. I'm on my way to 100,000 views. Total watch, well, not watch hours, but total views in general. So it took me a little minute. I probably feel like I probably should have been at least at that. But, you know what I mean? It is what it is, you know. Slow motion better than no motion. You know what I mean? So I appreciate everybody that tapped in, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all check out my other content, my other lives. You know what I mean? And I appreciate everybody that tapped in, man. So make sure y'all like, subscribe. It's Robbie TV, and I'm out.